Which one is MPC?
The yam and something.
Nathan, I'm saying board and you are saying MPC.
But is it not board yam and whatever it is?
That's MPC. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Coach, what do you want to eat? Will you tell me what do you want?
The same.
You do want MPC?
Yes.
Hey, coach. But I know you from London days. It's well, the list offers you a spacious and relaxing environment, perfect for family hangouts, business meetings, or chilling with friends. And the fun doesn't stop there. Karaoke every Wednesday at 7 p.m. plus live band and game night every Friday. So tonight, if you want to check out any of the games across the top flight leagues in Europe, the place to be is Delish Restaurant at the University of Ghana poolside, right behind the University of Ghana Stadium. Now, visit Delish Restaurant at the University of Ghana poolside behind the University of Ghana Stadium. It's open from Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. and on Sundays from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Now, you can also call them for delivery, so just as we are going to do this afternoon, I would give them a call on 054 080 0000. So 054 080 0000 or 056 004 4444. 056 004 4444. You can give them a call now, place your order, and it will be delivered right to you wherever you are. Nathan, you see, so this afternoon, this is how your MPC will arrive. So we are going to give them a call and they'll deliver your MPC.
Thank you.
You get it. So Delish Restaurant, you can follow them on Instagram, on TikTok, and on X at Delish Ghana. Delish Ghana, Delish is spelled DELISH, and then you add Ghana, and then you find them on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, and on X. Delish Restaurant, great food, great vibes every time. Nathan, do you know how to do the kakalika dance? Do you know how to do the kakalika dance? Coach, do you know how to do the kakalika dance?
No.
Coach, if he tries kakalika dance, we have to get him a chiropractor. Oh, this one. This is still Sporty Breakfast live on Sporty 106.1 FM in Accra, 102.5 in Takoradi, and 91.3 in Kumasi. It's a good time to get into the discussion on the show this morning. And we'll start off with the MTN FA Cup. MTN FA Cup is in the quarterfinals. Why won't I be talking about corners when I'm watching F1 too? And I'll be talking about corners when there's an Arsenal fan sitting in front of me. So MTN quarterfinal action this weekend. 2 venues would play host to 4 matches. And Bechem would head straight to the Nana Fosu Diabo Park, where Adriana FC will be taking on Techiman Liberty. And then Nations FC would play Brecum Chelsea on Sunday. So on Saturday, Adriana FC would play Techiman Liberty. And then on Sunday, Nations FC would play Brecum Chelsea. And then on Sunday, we head straight to the Cape Coast Sports Stadium, and that's where Dreams FC will play Pando Heart of Lions at 3 p.m. And then Atram de Visa will take on Midiama SC again on Sunday at 7 p.m. So all these games will be live, and that's the MTN FA Cup for you. Let's get into the discussion. And let me start with you, Coach. Coach, good morning to you and welcome to Sporty Breakfast.
Good morning, Ray.
Great, it's good to have you.
Thank you.
How you doing? How you doing today?
I'm good. Today is Friday.
It's Friday. So Friday. So are you part of the people who don't take advice on Friday?
Friday in Tufu. I'm sure those guys in Kumasi normally say that, but
yeah.
But advice is good.
Well, it's been a long run in the MTN FA Cup. The equation of 8 would have to be brought down to 4 this weekend. It's the quarterfinals of the competition. What do you make of the MTN FA Cup we've seen this year?
I think it's been good. Surprises. I mean, lower tier teams beating Premiership clubs. Lower tier teams being consistent, especially that Atram Divisi. Last season he was there. He was eliminated by Golden King, and Golden King went all the way to the finals to play Kotoko. So I think that this season has also, we had a repetition of lower tier teams. Now we have Techiman Liberty also in there. So it tells you that the lower tier teams are doing very well in the FA Cup, and it has been consistent. And for me, I think that it is good. Probably you look at how they play, where they are coming from. So it goes with their slogan, Obi and Obia. So for me, it's been good.
What happened to the big boys in the competition? The Kotokos, the Hearts of Oaks, some of the teams that you talk about as the big players in the league, or the top performers in the league. What happened to them?
Nothing happened to them. I mean, it's a game, and I've said it that look, when it comes to the FA Cup, there is not going to be a return game. It's just one of a game. So you have to go all out to make sure that you win your game. There's not a time of going to play a 3-back, 3-4-3 system, variation of system. If you are scored and the opponent is able to manage the scoreline, you're out of the competition.
Yeah.
That's why the slogan says Obi and Obia. So for me, when it comes to the FA Cup, it can go either way. You only need to have your plan. Look, let me have a goal, or probably let me make sure that I get a free kick around a particular angle on the field of play where probably I've trained towards that, and probably I can get a goal out of it. If you're able to score your goal, you manage it. At the end of the day, you don't wait for a return leg. Well, there won't be any return leg. So it is simple. The teams that were eliminated, as of for instance, against True Life, probably True Life were Division 2 side, and an academy, and playing House of Folk at their own backyard. So you never expected House of Folk to lose, but at the end of the day, they lost because True Life felt that, look, we can play them. Let's go out there. Let's have our plan. Let's get a goal and make sure that we defend. And that was exactly what happened. House of Folk put some key players on the bench. Later on, they brought them on, and it didn't work out, and they're out. So for me, Kumasi Asante Kotoko also did their best. They tried. They had even a penalty within 90 minutes, and they missed it. Ediana decided to fight because they believe in their goalkeeper, who is good in penalty shootouts. And Kotoko were out of the competition. So for me, I think that it is about you going in there, having a positive mentality that, look, this is just one of a game. Let me kill it. If you have confidence in your goalkeeper and your players for the penalty shootout, fine. If you don't, it can go either way. So for me, I'll just have to congratulate the teams that have been able to make it to the round of 16.
Right. Let's start the preview with the first game of the round. Adriana FC will take on Techiman Liberty Youth. Now, Adriana qualified to this stage of the competition by beating Bechem United by 2-1. They beat Brekum Chelsea also by 2-0. And then they defeated the holders Kumasi Asante Kotoko on penalties, 4-2 on penalties. Now, for Techiman Liberty Youth, they started the competition by defeating Del Sanco FC by 4-0. They now beat Nswatre FC by 5-1.
Sporty FM.
And then beat Victory Club Warriors by 1-0. And then they beat Real Tamale United by 3-0. And this would be their first clash against a Premier League team in the competition so far. But first of all, let's hear from coach of Adriana FC, Chuba Risika, before I pick the thoughts of Coach Sifa. So let's listen to what Chuba Risika has to say ahead of this big clash.
From the long time, in home about the half 3 game draw and a little again stress from the player. But it's good you win the game 2-0. Sometime in the game we have very good play. Sometime little mistake, but now the morale from our team is up. And is waiting from the next game about is very important from our team. The Adwana supporter, every time I speak, thank you about also last game is coming here and listen me message. I see the Adwana supporter, the first 45 minutes is the 0-0, but is still silence, still support the player, our player, still give the moral, and after 90 minutes you'll go back happy. Normal he like see more score, but I promise you're coming. I see the player now is more confidence. Please go together from the Bechem Saturday and stay together. Focus from any game what I play away and win together. This game is very important for us.
That was Choba Risika, coach of Adriana FC, speaking there. Coach, you heard what coach said?
Yeah, I heard it.
Yes. That should be an easy game for Adriana, looking at the opposition.
No, that is why it is Obianyo Obia.
Okay.
And he said that was the first, this is going to be the first time Techiman Liberty is playing a Premiership side. And the first time Adriana is also playing a Division 1 side in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
So it tells you that they are now going to face each other for the first time. And Chuba Ristika, he did say something that, look, they've been playing draws in most of their games until they won their last game against 11 Wonders 2-0. Even at that game at Doma, the first half was goalless. The second half, that they had their 2 goals. This time they are going to be for Suji Abuo Park to play the Chima 11 Wonders. So they believe that it is an opportunity and it means a lot to them. Looking at the Diana setup, they've been doing much better away in the Ghana Premier League. So it's going to be the same going away to Bechem to play Techima 11. Techima Liberty. And do you know one thing? These Division 1 teams or the lower tier teams, when they are playing the Premiership side, they play as if they are playing their colleagues or probably the level of Division 1 teams. So they are very rugged, they are very strong. And you ask yourself, the Division 1 league that we've been watching in our system and the Premier League side, people talk about the Division 1 league being tough in terms of security, in terms of venues and all that. It is a very tough league. That's when it comes to our Division 1 league. For the Premiership side, of course, they have the liberty to have more security around them. Their pitches are better than the Division 1 teams that are playing in our league. So this is a game where I think that Adriana have a slight edge of Liberty based on their pedigree, based on the quality of players that they have. But when it comes to the game itself, FA Cup, it can go either way. So if Adriana should go into this game with a game plan, let's have 4-4-2 or probably a 4-2-3-1 system, they are going to rely on that to vary it. Then they may be surprised. Because when it comes to Division 1 teams, they only try to go all out, fight for every ball, fight for everything with their might, especially when they know that when they win, they are gaining something, not only just the 3 points. They are tough to beat. Adriana have a very good goalkeeper in the person of Prince Owusu. I mean, he got injured when they came to play Dreams FC. So I don't know whether he's fit to come. But if he's not fit, I think it's going to be the former Brekum Chelsea goalkeeper Godfrey Obin. He's going to be imposed because he was registered in Adriana being the first goalkeeper, but he got injured and then Prince had opportunity and he seized the goalpost. So I believe that Adriana have confidence in their goalkeepers. Their defense are very solid. They are very good midfield. But this is not a time for entertaining football. This is not a time for transition football. It's a time to make sure that you kick your opponents out of the game. So it's going to be a tight game. But I think that Adriana have a slight edge over Techima Liberty.
Well, coach believes Adriana should do the business over Techima Liberty in the first match of the quarterfinals of this weekend's MTN FA Cup round of games. Now, another game that will be played at the Nana Fosu Abuo Park on Sunday, would be the game between Nations FC and Brekum Chelsea. Now, Nations FC go into this game on the back of a 2-1 win over Ebony FC. They beat Ashgold 3-0, and then they also defeated Swedro All Blacks 2-1 to get to the quarterfinals of this competition. Now, for Brekum Chelsea, who have former Hearts of Oak coach Samuel Boedu, very experienced campaigner at this level, he's won it twice. That's it. Yeah, he's won the FA Cup twice. That's correct, Nathan? Yeah, Samuel Boedu has won it.
Back to back.
Yeah, back to back. Yeah, he did it
back to back with Hearts of Oak.
Yes, and then you have Brekum Chelsea. Also, they beat Brekum Chelsea beat Young Apostles by 1-0, and then they beat Tamale FC, Tamale City FC by 1-0 again. Now they face a very tough game against Nations FC. Coach, take us through how this game would go, and if relegation threatened Brekum Chelsea can do the business over Nations in this one.
You see, both teams have the blend of Division 1 and Division 2 before they got Premier and Division 1 before they got to this side.
Yeah.
Both of them played a Division 1 side and then 2 Premiership side before getting to this stage. But looking at both teams' performance in the Ghana Premier League, and of course, obviously, it's going to be a Premiership clash, not a Division 1. And And looking at Nations FC, I think they've just won one game out of Abrankesi. That was against 11 Wonders at Swedro. So Brekum Chelsea is yet to win a game out of Brekum Golden City back. So even in its sense, I think Nations have advantage over them. But looking at the Nations team and then Brekum Chelsea's team, you could clearly see that Nations is out of relegation in the Premier League, so there's not much pressure on them. For Brekum Chelsea, they are fighting of coming out of the relegation, and if they're able to win this game against Nations, probably they're going to the semi-final. And when they qualify for Africa, it's going to be the second time in the history of the club.
Yeah.
With the first time, Mr. Chairman, the likes of Glassina, Waku, Solomon Asante, and the rest, and they were able to make a mark, Clotte, and the rest. So it's going to be a difficult game. They are having a coach who has seen it. Even with Mediama, he took them to a certain level in the FA Cup, and in the Ghana Premier League before coming to us to win the back-to-back FA Cup. Frimpong is yet to win a trophy for probably. I think he won the league with Gold Stars. I'm talking about FA Cup.
FA Cup, yeah.
So between the two coaches, you think that Samobodi, when it comes to the FA Cup, he's ahead of Frimpong. But we are going to a game whereby players have rested, players are eager. Because you watched Nations last game against Bechem United. That was the first time beating Bechem United since they joined the Ghana Premier League. And this game is coming on at Nana Fosuji Abo. Frimpong first game in the Ghana Premier League with Nations FC was at that venue where he had a point from that game. And looking at Frimpong squad, he's having some delightful players. Emmanuel Ano, he has played so many seasons in Bechem United, or with Bechem United at Nana Fosuji Abo. He's got Brandon Sapon, who's up and coming young player. He has got Joseph Ifa. These are very good players, and he has got wonderful midfield. But Samuel Bodu is also having some experienced players in his team. Ewa Mensah, who has played for Nations before. He has played for House of Folk. He has Oforenchi, one of the finest keepers with a rich of experience. They have got Henderson in midfield. They've got a lot of players in the team that on a very good day they can also cause upset. But I think that this game is never going to go on a penalty shootout. Nation stands as favorite, and I think Nations to beat Brekum Chelsea to go and face Ghana in the semi-finals.
Right. Next game would feature the Sunday round of games. Dreams FC will take on very stubborn Pandu Heart of Lions. That's one game that a lot of us are looking forward to. Ahead of this game, coach of Dreams FC, Winfred Drummond, has been speaking. Let's hear from head coach of Dreams FC, Winfred Drummond, ahead of their big clash against Pandu Heart of Lions at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium on Sunday.
Well, we expect a very difficult challenge, but we should be able to, handle whatever challenge they will pose. Yes, in the Ghana Premier League, in the first round we went there and we lost by a painful 1-0. In the second round fixture, we managed to beat them 3-0. So therefore, games between Heart of Lions and Dreams FC has always been a challenging game, has always been an eventful game. And I'm looking forward to Sunday that we are going to witness another eventful football. They are a team that also would like to put the ball on the ground and like to play through the test. We share similar friendship by way of play style. So I believe that this game is going to be very, very interesting and very tactical.
And that's head coach of Dreams FC, Winfred Drummond, speaking there. Coach, a very difficult game for both sides. Both sides would have to do quite a bit if they have to progress to the next stage of the competition. For Dreams, we all know the quality they have in their fold, and for Lions, we all know the experience of Bashir Hayford and what he can do on his day. And what should we expect in this game? But before we get into that, Dreams FC got to this stage of the competition by beating Sempefi by 2-1. They beat Asanska FC by 2-0, and then defeated Interallies by 4-2. Hoho United, they lost to Heart of Lions. Heart of Lions beat them by 1-0. Heart of Lions again beat Nagod FC by 2-0. And then Heart of Lions defeated Giant Killers True Life by 3-2. Coach, what should we expect from this game?
It's going to be a big game. Both, Dortmund said it. They played twice. Lions won the first leg from the spot kick at Kwandu. And then the second leg was 3-0 when I think it rained heavily and the game had to stop for over 20 minutes and then they continued. And after the game, that was the goalkeeper of Lions decided to leave for US. So I'm sure. I'm sure.
That was Lawrence's last game.
Yes,
for greener pastures.
Yeah, so
His family is there.
I'm sure. I'm sure Lions will use this as a payback. You beat us 3 and our goalkeeper run away. So probably it's going to. But on a more serious note, I think it's going to be a difficult game for both sides. And the one interesting thing is that it's a neutral ground. It's not a Tuba Astroturf or Pando, the Lions there. This is a Cape Coast Sports Stadium, so it's anybody's game. But I think that Heart of Lions is really, really struggling because some of us have spoken about Bashir Ford needs to vary what he's doing with Heart of Lions.
Yeah.
So he made some changes in some of the playing body. When they played Kumasi Asante Kotoko, they won. And their last game was against Swedro Blacks. A free kick from Michael Epson got them the 3 points. For Dreams FC against Adriana, we all saw what happened. And it's going to be a tight game. They also he went all the way to Samates to pick a point. So that should tell you that if Dreams FC should get a very good pitch, they play good football. And I've told you about Dreams FC having a coach. They are having a father to the Dreams FC players on the field of play in the person of John Entry. So if Heart of Lions have anything to go by, right now I believe that the two centre backs of Heart of Lions, Henderson and the are dropping because before the 10th week of the first round of the Ghana Premier League, they were tipped to be the best two centre pair. But today you are looking at Hassoufou, Ali Mohammed, and then Osesibe. So where has been the performance of Ebenezer Aban and then Ruben Henderson? They are there and they are conceding, and it's not helping them. Eche Dogli, after the Black Galaxy's return from South Africa, we hardly hear from him. Or after the Kotoko game, we hardly hear from him playing. Ishmael Ado and the likes. But you look at the Dreams FC side, they have the likes of Latif Salifu, they have Suraj Sedu. They are a very good side. If these games will end in a penalty shootout, I will not be surprised because both teams are going to maintain their midfield battle. They are going to play a solid game. And of course, you talk of Heart of Lions having Freeman and of course Michael Epson, who is picking form gradually. You know, he was the chap who scored the winning goal for the U20 when they played the African Games at Legon. And then from Samates he couldn't make it, so he has to move to Heart of. He has struggled a bit, but I think he's been good. For Dreams FC, you have to rely on John Entry's experience and how he will be able to guide the young ones if the opportunity comes. But I think that this game might end in a draw and they will end up playing the penalty shootout. And when it comes to penalty shootout, it can go either way.
Right. Dreams FC expected to face a very difficult opponent in Pando Heart of Lions, and coach believes the game could be settled on penalties. Nathan, quick thoughts on that game?
No, I think Dreams will win by a very slim margin. I don't trust Lions. Lions' performance. No, seriously. Lions have been so wretched.
Very inconsistent.
They've been very inconsistent. And you see, you know that sometimes, like when you look at the wider footballing picture, teams sometimes use the cup competitions to like balance things out. You know, it's not working in the league, so let's try and survive in the cup. I think Lions.
Newcastle doing in the EP.
Yeah. I just don't. I look at Lions and their inconsistent run. I think Dreams just have they are, as coach is saying, when you watch them play, there's a better chemistry about them, and I think that is what will guide them. I don't think that game will end up in a shootout. I think Dreams will win it in regulation.
Final game of this round would feature Atram de Visa, and you know, this is the Obianyo Obia part.
You see,
they would come up against Ghana Premier League leaders Midyama SC, and Coach Ibrahim Tanko has been speaking ahead of this all-important clash. Let's listen to head coach of Midyama SC, Coach Ibrahim Tanko, and then we get back into the studio to preview that particular game. So, Coach Ibrahim Tanko.
I think like any other game, and Atram Divisa is a very good team, and Atram self is my friend. We work together with the U23, and I don't think we have to take the game lightly because, like I said, we want to go to the next round. So definitely we are approaching the game with all seriousness. Yes, like I said earlier, and they don't have to give up on the team, and we started it together. We're still in the first position, and this is the difference different tournament or different MTN FA Cup. So we want to go to the next round. So we hope that and they will come in and support us so that we all go together. Oh yes, I think we have to do some 1 or 2 changes based on the tiredness. I mean, we have a feeling that some of them are tired, so we need to give others chance, and I'm sure that those who will come will give us the result.
And that was head coach of Mediama SC, Ibrahim Tanko there. And he's preparing his team for the clash against
I found what he said really interesting. The final part about
players.
Rotation. Rotation. So it will mean that some changes will have to be made. Maybe we'll see Kelvin Nkrumah. Yes. Maybe he'll get his, because ever since he's not had minutes.
Yeah.
The Chapu went to play for the Black Stars.
No, he played the last time. He played against Hawaii United.
Yes.
Prince. Because Salim didn't play.
Yes. So it looks like
Prince also has never been the same. After
So this is a game that Prince can use to audition for more minutes when the league comes back in a few weeks. He haven't seen in a while. Nana Kofi Babel has been around.
And the likes,
so they can make a few changes. I think some of the regulars, when you look at, for example, Kelvin, Prince, others, I don't think the important parts of Mediama's team will change that much. Salim, I think,
yes, he will be back. I'm sure he'll be back.
Yes, I'm sure Salim will have to get Fuzi,
and then of course Manuel Mante. I'm sure the midfield he would like to maintain.
Yes, they'll have to maintain.
Probably the defense and then probably attack. That is where probably he made some changes. But it's never going to be easy. I mean, as I said earlier, Atram Division has been one team that has been consistent when it comes to the FA Cup.
Yeah,
this is their third straight quarter-final.
So it tells you that look, they are solid side. Their last game was against 11 Wonders, whipping them by 4, and then the goalkeeper started crying. You remember that?
That game.
So the Wonders Atram has always have the confidence of doing very well in the FA Cup, and he believed that he didn't start well against Golden Kick the last time at TNA when he lost heavily. But this is a game that he thinks that they can push Mediama to the wall. But as Nathan said, this is 2 competitions that they are playing. You're on top of the Ghana Premier League, but your form is dipping a bit. So you need to convince your supporters that look, you have a crucial game against Dreams FC who will play earlier before your game. So you also need to make some changes. But I think it's a good idea giving some players opportunity to play a different competition so that in terms of match fitness, they'll be all apart, so that in case one player is not in there, you should be able to look at the other players, because the supporters were calling for Tanko's head because they believe that he has been using the same lineup for more games and he doesn't make a lot of changes, but they believe that they go to training, they see players. So after the loss to Wahoy, Mediama started training twice a day.
Wow. Yes,
and until on Tuesday they train twice, on Wednesday they play Moose Park, Thursday they play twice, and today they are training twice before they will move to Cape Coast. And I think that it is one thing that they are trying to toughen the players, try to let them understand that they are losing the guard, because any slip in a game against Dreams FC, they may lose the top spot. And any slip against Atram, they will also lose their position probably in the competition, the FA Cup. They believe that they can win the double. So, but it's never going to be easy, as Coach Ibrahim Tanko said. But when it comes to Atram DVC and the FA Cup, they are good at it. They are good at it. So looking at Atram, the way they've played this season, how they are doing very well in the Division 1, and more also Atram coming from Wales.
The one week course.
It doesn't matter. I expect a very tight game, but I think Mediama have a slight edge, a slim win for Mediama to go to the next stage.
This is what I will say. Mediama should kill this game off in regulation.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Because if he goes to the shootout,
it's anybody's game.
One, it is anybody's game. Atram Divisa, they have a history of doing very well in the penalty shootout of the FA Cup. The third reason is the psychology of Mediama.
Especially their goalkeeper.
They've survived the last round thanks to the shootout. It was Che who scored the winning kick. Last weekend he missed one, had a terrible game.
And give us that second goal.
You know, so Mediama will have to ensure they don't have to put Che in a position where he has to make a decision for the team, i.e. a penalty shootout where he either has to save or score. If I don't want them to do that. I think Tanko Tanko should put Che in post to allow him to get over last weekend.
I don't think he will change him because looking at their two other goalkeepers.
No, of course
they are not
that good. So I think he'll keep him in post, and I think it's good for Che's own psychology, his own confidence that, you know what, last week was bad, this week I'm back in post. What he must do is handle the occasion well. But I think Mediama as a team should try and kill this game off in regulation. Right. Try and kill it off very quickly, because there's a game with Dreams to think about. And between now and when Mediama have separation between themselves and whoever is second, every game is important.
Of course.
Every game is important. They've worked so hard, and it looks, as coach is saying, the form is dipping. Everything is beginning to come apart. They need to stay locked in. So I expect them to kill this game off early, and then think about how to play against Dreams. Dreams will play earlier, finish early. You probably, I don't know if they'll watch them, but
I'm sure they'll watch them. If they're playing, body will not watch it. The technical team, their scouts will watch them.
Ray, this game is important, not only because it is a ticket to what, the semi-finals. But I think it can
kill the confidence.
Yes, it can either bring the confidence back, or it can destroy Mediama's confidence for the rest of the season. So this game is a very key game for them. They need to handle it with a lot of caution.
Let's see how both teams got to the stage of the competition. At Tram Divisa, they beat Golden Cake via penalties, so that game ended 5-4. So they had, a perfect 5 there. They beat Vision FC by 1-0, and then they defeated Port City again via penalties 4-2, and then they whitewashed 11 Wonders by 4-0. For Mediama SC, they beat Rose Park FC by 4-1. I don't know how both teams got to meet.
It was by the draw.
No, but coach, you get it. It's a little strange.
You say you didn't know. I'm telling you through the draw.
The Heart of Oak meeting Aras.
Some way.
No, but if it happens that Aras is in the FA Cup and they meet Heart of Oak, it's done here.
Pinima Michelle. And then Mediama SC, they defeated Gold Stars by 3-1, and then they defeated Samatex via penalties 4-2. So Mediama, they have faced some very tough teams.
They faced very tough teams.
Yes,
two Premier League teams.
But when it comes to the FA Cup, tough team. Like Golden True Life will not beat us at their own backyard. There's no tough. You see, it's about how you approach the game. Like as Nathan said, if Mediama wants to bring back the morale, the confidence of their players, they need to kill this game within the 90 minutes. Because if they should go into the penalty shootout, there will be a lot of pressure on Mediama players, especially Felix Che, if he is going to be in post. You get the point. So I think that it's going to be a battle. You cannot downplay Atram and his team. Of course. They can even pull a mean. I mean, they score a goal before Mediama can come to fight for it. It is going to be a difficult game, because Mediama needs to watch Apokum. The offensive player, one of the guys.
So Apoku.
Yes, Apoku. He's in midfield of maybe. He was part of Park City Famous under 17 that played in the Waffle tournament in Cape Coast.
Okay.
That's slim and tiny midfielder. He's still the same, but he's called Apoku. Yes, he's a very good player.
Division 1 has all these amazing players. Because you know that all the teams, when the scouts show up, they want Division 1 players.
No, because that is where you go and you get players that are really angry for something. Look at what Azam Kotoko players are doing. Are they angry to play something?
Some of the players they brought in came from Division 1, but they've never really, turned it up.
You see, it's not every player that can play Azam Kotoko. So you look at the player you are going in for. You understand? I had a lot of people talking about how didn't have opportunity of signing players and all that. Who told you that?
Well, they brought in.
The window was open for all the clubs before they started the preseason. They had time to register. But I think that especially House of Folk players convince the technical team that they are capable.
I think the top 4. You know the top 4. They played very well.
The top 4. The President Cup. At that time, Didi has trained with the team for a week or so. Yeah. If you could remember. That was where he allowed some players to play for 45 minutes, 60 minutes when he was interviewed. And then the Homo Cup, the Democracy Cup, and the top 4 is
those matches.
So the players convinced everybody, and that was why supporters were so loud in this country. So even if House of Folk had not registered even one player in the second window, and these players had kept that form that they exhibited in the top 4, I don't think the House of Folk supporters will be crying right now.
Player like Frank Duku, in the games you mentioned, the Democracy Cup, Homer World Cup, even the top four,
aggressiveness
they
that he played.
Frank Duku played very well. And then the season starts, he's all over the place. He looks terrible.
Martin Kakari, for instance, he was one of the darling boys. Everybody was asking for him. And I remember very well when Mingle was calling the chanting, we spoke and he said he's going to use Kakari because that boy is too good.
But coach, you know, when I speak to people who are close to Kakari, they but the complaint is that he's being played in a position he doesn't like. For example,
it's not true.
They say he's playing on the right side.
It's not true.
Of attack.
Top four, where was he playing?
But they say that he should play through the middle, as a 10.
Bro, where was he playing during the top four? On the right side.
On the right.
That is why we said improvisation in football. On the foot of play. It is not working for you on the right.
We should give Kakari number 10. But that's what I'm asking.
I'm saying that you've been put at the right side. It's not working for you in this day. You can improvise and move to that road that you are talking about.
Okay, so even if he improvises, it means that he's probably going against the structure.
He gives the fullback a lot of work.
So which means that if he's cutting in, he's leaving Caleb or whoever it is that's playing at right back for us.
You see, when they talk of improvisation in football, probably the opponent left back is so tough that Kakari is not having it right. He can move to the left, and the one on the left can come to the right. You've been seeing it. So if you want to play as number 10, and you think that probably Hussein, who is playing that role, Hussein draws back to defend when he loses possession. And do you think Kakari can do that? He can't do that. Kakari will never withdraw to come and tackle any opponent. He always wants to be offensive. If you have known him from
Asekem
and Hasselhoff, wonderful player he is.
Yes.
On the right, I said the top four, the pre-season, the President Cup,
the
Homer Cup. Go and watch where he played, and everybody was praising him. It is like a physical attitude of the player that we should talk about. He's lazy. He is lazy. If you allow me, I'll say things. He is lazy. Look, if you are a player and you want to be serious, you always need to cast your mind back, review whatever games you've played and how you've performed. And after every game, you have to analyze your performance yourself before probably you meeting your coach for the whole team to analyze the performance. Did you watch the game against Gold Stars? The Hasselhoff second goal that they conceded. I put the blame on him. Why? Because he was supposed to track.
Yeah, he did. I was watching
the left back kind of he didn't do that. So like the cross, and then the game against Basaka here.
Yeah.
He created spaces for himself. You remember I've been telling you that how many shots have you seen Hasselhoff players played from 15-20 yards in the game situation? You they create space and you don't shoot. You expect the coach to come and shoot for you. But go to the training grounds, they do all those things there.
Yeah.
Oh, please. I don't be harsh on the players this morning. I'm saying that, look.
So you say it's a player attitude thing. Players need to be serious.
Yes, of course, they need to. Because, look, you watch the body language of some Hasselhoff players, some Kotoko players. And then you watch the attitude of Samate's players, Dreams FC players. You see the big difference in that. Huge difference. You watch the Adriana team that played Heart of Lions, the Adriana team that played Kotoko, the Adriana team that played Mediama, the mentality of the players.
Solid.
Compared to the Hasselhoff players. Hasselhoff, I've seen out Benjamin Asari, Osesibi, and Ali. Please, let's be honest. The players need to up themselves a bit.
I mean, to be fair, I've watched a lot of the performances in the Ghana Premier League, and some of the players for the bigger teams, some of them do not show hunger.
They are not.
Look, an example comes to mind. I watched Hearts of Oak versus Dreams.
Yeah.
It was so shocking what I was watching. Dreams looked hungrier, better, especially in the second half. They were running after every ball. They were more composed. You could tell that there was something driving them on to perform. It was just too bad they didn't win the game on an offside call, which in hindsight was not a good call anyway. So, but on directly opposite is the Hearts of Oak. And I was watching the Hearts of Oak players, and I thought their attitude wasn't really strong. It wasn't good that day. In the last few months, the only time I've seen Hearts of Oak players turn up was when they played the Super Clash. And that performance was wonderful. So you ask yourself, why is it that they don't repeat it game in, game out?
That's it.
Yeah.
They beat 11 Wonders. Playing the same, it's just that Wonders are so bad.
Yeah.
Hearts got away with winning 3. But even that, look at the nature of goals Hearts of Oak scored that day.
Yeah.
One was a penalty. Only the first goal was good. That was Kakari's goal was some free kick into the area, bounce here and there, and then he was the point is this: you expect consistency from some of these players who play for the bigger teams, because if you have been chosen by Hearts or Kotoko to play, it means that you are so good they think you can help them. And coach says it all the time. It's not only the talent that helps you play for some of these big teams, your mentality.
That's it.
The heart, the courage, the bravery, and the willingness to get something.
For Hearts of Oak supporters be praising their players during the top 4.
They saw them
all over the place. And their game against Massacres, the same supporters are calling the players to be sacked from the team.
Yeah.
Did you not listen to the little boy? The little boy, he said, if they don't beat Heart of Lions, they won't come back. Why? And then he was asked which players. I was so embarrassed.
I don't want to mention
names. He even dropped names. Yeah,
he was mentioning, pointing names, and I said, "Oh."
You see, when you watch players of today, and
well, there's MTN FA Cup to look forward to this weekend.
So for me, if scouts come and they go to pick players from Division 1 and Division 2, they know what they've seen. But there are Division 1 players that have come to the Premier League that are doing so well. Even Safol of Nations FC. He's from Park Academy. Samet Che of Samates. He's from Park Academy.
Okay.
Watch the games that they are playing. They are very angry. 50-50 ball, you won't try. Area duels, you won't try. But when these players get to us and Kotoko, and it's like everything is done. What is this?
MTN FA Cup action to look forward to this weekend. Let me take you over the games again. On Saturday, 3 p.m., Idiana FC will take on Techiman Liberty Youth at the Nana Fosu Jabor Park in Bechim. And then on Sunday at 3 p.m., Nations FC will take on Brekum Chelsea at the Nana Fosu Jabor Park in Brekum. And then on Sunday at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium, Dreams FC will take on Pando Heart of Lions. And then Atram de Visa. So the Dreams FC game will be at 3 p.m. Atram de Visa will take on Midiama SC at 7 p.m. So MTN FA Cup to look forward to this weekend. Promises to be exciting. We'll bring you up to speed on everything that happens in there, hopefully, on Monday. Nathan?
No, I'm just reading a comment. Somebody says, at Orleans successes, Duku there, he should find another team. It must be so difficult for Didi Dramani. It must be very difficult for him. You do all you can, you prepare your best plan, and then you watch some of these players do some of the things they do. It must be tough.
Somebody from Vision FC told me, I think yesterday, or 2 days ago, that who doesn't know how to use Frank Duku, and I asked why.
Really?
He was telling me that at Vision, what he does best is to run into speed, just put the ball there for him. That's all. If you want him to harass defenders, he does it best. These are the two things that he does for Vision FC. That was the reason why he was probably putting pressure on defenders. But Hasbrook is not. They will give him the ball. They will like him to probably build from the other side here and there. That's the fine. It's about, you see, the player himself can also have a communicate with the coach. There's nothing wrong with that. Coach, I'm having issues with where you have been playing me. I feel you should be able to have that one-on-one with the coach. But since he came to Hasbrook and scored that goal against Kotoko in top four when Zakaria Fusini made that mistake. Since then, Frank Duku has been somebody who has been running. I don't want to say that.
But we'll see what happens this weekend in the MTN FA Cup. Coach,
it's going to be very tough. And let's urge everybody to be at the venues. If you happen to be around Cape Coast, Winneba and all that, you should be at the Cape Coast Sports. It's going to be a very
Rail will be there.
On Sunday.
That is 2 games. 3 p.m. and then 7 p.m.
Yeah, I'll be there.
And of course, when you are around the team, Kumase and Sunyani and the rest, you can get to Nana for Suji Abo to have Adriana played, Techiman Liberty, and of course on Sunday, that big game. Someone will probably make a case for himself against Frimpong Manso, or it's going to be the other way around. And I'm sure this game is going to determine whether Brecum Chelsea will be able to, because it will. If they should lose that game, it's going to deepen their spirit going into their next home game in the Ghana Premier League.
Right, Coach. Thank you very much for joining us on the show this morning.
Thank God it's Friday.
Yes, thank God it's Friday. So today, where do you go today?
Live band.
We are going to Delish.
Live band.
Yeah, so Delish, right?
Delish. I'll do that in the afternoon. Delish in the afternoon.
Yes.
And then live band in the evening.
If you eat, okay. So today there's a Delish day.
That's today's Friday. Friday, everybody should go to.
But what will you be drinking? I have something special for you.
I don't need yours. I want my own.
No, I have something
I have
special.
some mixture.
I'll give you.
He says he has his own.
I have my own mixture.
The one that cleans the heart.
Yes, my own mixture. My own mixture.
Later, we have to investigate that thing. Thank you very much, Coach. You've been such a for joining us on the show today. Right.
We'll see you
So that's it for the MTN FA Cup. Interesting games to look forward to. We'll see how things pan out this weekend in Bichim and in Cape Coast. So away from the FA Cup, there are games to look forward to in Europe, and we'll be doing a quick preview. But before we get into the preview, maybe we would have to open the phone lines for our listeners to give us their own preview of some of the games. In England this weekend, Burnley play Bournemouth, Sunderland play Brighton, Arsenal take on Everton, Chelsea play Newcastle, West Ham take on Man City, Crystal Palace play Leeds United, Manchester United play Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest play Fulham, Liverpool take on Tottenham, and then on Monday night you have Brentford playing against Wolverhampton Wanderers at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Now, in the German Bundesliga this weekend, games to look forward to. The games start tonight, and you have Borussia Mönchengladbach. They play St. Pauli. Bayer Leverkusen, Bayern Munich will be the big game of this round. And then Borussia Dortmund play Augsburg. Eintracht Frankfurt play Heidenheim. Hoffenheim take on Wolfsburg. Hamburg play Cologne. Werder Bremen play Mainz. Freiburg take on Union Berlin. And then Stuttgart will play RB Leipzig in Germany. And then in Spain, Real Madrid, after winning against Man City, they would be, they will be in fine form going into their game this weekend. Let me quickly take you through this weekend's fixtures. Alaves play BRL. Girona take on Atletico Bilbao. Atletico Madrid take on Getafe. Real Oviedo will play Valencia. Then you have Real Madrid taking on Elche in a game that they must win. Mallorca will play Espanyol. Barcelona take on Sevilla. That should be a tough one. Betis take on Celta Vigo. Real Sociedad take on Osasuna. And then on Monday, Rayo Vallecano will take on Levante. And in the Italian Serie A, let's quickly get into some of the games you should expect. In Italy this weekend, the games start tonight. Torino play Parma, Inter play Atalanta, Napoli take on Lecce, and then you have Udinese playing against Juventus, Verona play Genoa, Pisa play Cagliari, Sassuolo take on Bologna, Como play AS Roma, and then Lazio will take on AC Milan. So Nathan, some interesting top four battles there. Lazio play AC Milan, Como take on Roma, and then Inter take on Atalanta. Should be an interesting round of games in the Italian Serie A this weekend.
I mean, very interesting games. Atalanta, after the misadventures in the Champions League, would want to respond. I don't know if Palladino would want to alter anything tactically. I wonder, because maybe he can say that, look, there are no teams like Bayern Munich in Italy, so he can try some of these antics or some of the things he tried when he took on Bayern Munich. Tactically, the idea wasn't bad. It's just that Munich found a way to exploit the weaknesses of the system, and he paid premium for that. But he'll try and respond. I mean, you lose 6-1 in a home tie in the Champions League. He has to try and respond, and we'll see. Who are they facing? Roma?
Yeah, they play Roma.
That's an interesting. Roma themselves.
No, I mean Atalanta.
Yes.
No, they play Inter.
Inter, that's a tough one. Inter lost the derby last weekend.
Yes.
Inter would want to respond. That would be interesting to see, especially knowing Atalanta and the all attack style they play and all. It will be interesting to see how Inter Milan go after that. Are Inter at home?
Yeah, Inter play at home.
Okay, so I think that's an interesting proposition. Let's see how Inter will respond to that. As I said, my focus will be on Palladino. How does he set the team up after losing 6-1? Does he stick to it? Does he change? And then from a Ghanaian perspective, I'd like to see what Kamal Dean does, because he didn't have a good game at all against Bayern Munich. Yeah. He didn't have a good game at all. But Atalanta are in the mix, and as you said, it's a contest, several contests amongst teams chasing,
top four places
in the Serie A. That should be fun. Inter Milan, though, I think they would want to take advantage of Atalanta, but what they need to be wary of is an Atalanta side that wants to respond. As I said, Inter lost the derby. The result really upset them because I thought that they got more of the ball. I wouldn't say they were the better side. They were the more dominant side, but Milan found that breakthrough. So this weekend, Inter will have to respond. They play at home again. Let's see what kind of response they can give. And let's see how Atalanta respond to getting thumped 6-1 in the Champions League.
Right. And then in France, French Liga, Marseille will play Auxerre tonight. Lorient play Lens. And then Angers play Nice. Monaco play Brest. Strasbourg take on Paris FC.
They have very excited whenever Brest.
Oh, Monaco-Brest. Monaco. Proving the Monaco. And then you have Metz taking on Toulouse, and then Rennes you play Lille, and so these are the games to look forward to in France.
PSG are not playing this weekend. They asked to be excused because of the UEFA Champions League.
Chelsea.
Yes, so that game will be played later. They take on Nantes, I believe.
Yeah,
that game will be played later. There's an opportunity for Nantes to
go top.
Try and go top and put pressure on Paris Saint-Germain whenever it is they play. That Lille themselves will have to respond. They lost to Aston Villa in the Europa League. They'll have to try and they'll have to see what they can do. Rennes are a team that's picked up in the last few weeks. They are forward. Esteban Le Paul is doing big things. He's scoring a lot these days. So let's see what kind of form they show. Monaco, after getting dumped out of the Champions League, have had a few results here and there. But it's a weekend where, because PSG are not playing, Lens will try and see if they can take advantage and then get something on them. It should be an interesting one. Marseille face Auxerre. That's tonight. It's the Friday night game. When John Baffer and I interviewed Gideon Mensah a few months ago, he spoke about his own love for playing at the Velodrome. He says he loves the Velodrome, loves the atmosphere, but Auxerre are in a very bad place in the Ligue 1. They are trying to fight off relegation. It's been tough. Marseille themselves have been very inconsistent, right?
Yeah.
They won the Olympico against Lyon, Habib Bey's first win, and against Auxerre, Marseille would want to take advantage, and I think they will get the results they need. It's not like the playing body has a problem, especially on the scoring side. Aubameyang, Greenwood, Igor Peixao, especially Peixao, very good goal scorer. So I think that Marseille will get the win. Auxerre don't have what it takes to stop them, so I think Marseille to get the win. Lens, I tip to also win. And then Lyon got themselves a creditable 1-1 draw at Celta in the Europa League. That's a great result to take into Ligue 1 this weekend. But the fatigue of playing on Thursday night could hurt Lyon. Which team are they playing?
Let me bring you that. Let me quickly bring you that, because I switched to the other fixtures. So Lyon, they play against Le Havre.
Okay. I mean, I even though the tiredness of playing on Thursday night will be there, Lyon should have enough to get the result. Le Havre will be tricky. Le Havre are very tricky customers sometimes when they play, and Lyon should expect a tough test. But I think that Lyon do have enough to get themselves the needed result. 2026 has been a good year for Lyon. They went a long time without losing. They lost a few weekends ago, lost the Olympico. I think this weekend they are likely to get back to winning this. But against Le Havre, it will be tough.
Right. We'll get into all of that in a bit. But Michael Asarabud is on the line. Let me introduce Michael, and then we'll take it from there. Michael, good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning, Raymond, and thanks for having me.
Great. Good to have you on the show this morning. How are you doing today?
No, I'm tired, so I'm a bit slow.
These days, there's a new one. There's a new one that is Mandara Sokode. Have you heard of that one? Go and ask the tech people. Yeah. How do you call them? The Department of Pharmacology.
Yes,
go and ask them. They'll explain to you what it does. So it cleans the heart.
Really?
But they allowed some rats to taste it. They died in 24 hours.
The most hilarious part was that they asked those who were selling it to drink it, and then they refused.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. They should taste some of their own concoction. They said no.
Oh, no.
They don't need to clean their heart.
Nathan, that is cruel. That is cruel. But I mean, why would you do this? Well, you are selling something you can't drink. But Nathan,
that just tells you.
Yeah, you know. Let's get into the preview quickly. I wanted to allow my callers to get in, but I'll give them my callers. I'll give you the last 20 minutes of the show so you share your thoughts on any matter you want to talk about this morning. But let's start off with the English Premier League. English Premier League returns this weekend, and it's match day 30, bringing us ever closer to the end of the season. Burnley will play Bournemouth this weekend. Sunderland play Brighton. Arsenal take on Everton. Chelsea play Newcastle. West Ham play Manchester City. Crystal Palace play Leeds United. And yesterday, Nathan, Palace did something to investors. Yesterday, Palace killed all the investors, including Immortal. Manchester United, they would play against Aston Villa. Nottingham play Fulham. Liverpool play Tottenham. And then Brentford will play Wolves on Monday night. So you can expect a lot of traffic on the M4. Yeah, should be interesting. Let's talk about Arsenal and their title challenge. They now have a 7-point lead at the top. This weekend they play against Everton, and many believe that if they had beaten Bayer Leverkusen comfortably in midweek, they would possibly have gone into this game playing all their best players. But this time around, because they have a game against Bayer Leverkusen and the possibility of progressing to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, a few players will be wrapped in cotton wool playing against Everton, and that could possibly just derail their plans a bit. Nathan, what do you think of this Arsenal team and what is ahead of them on Saturday? They play Everton, a team that could potentially be described as banana skins, and knowing very well that Arsenal will be distracted by that result they didn't get in Germany and be thinking of possibly getting the job done in England. Let's put all of that together. What should we expect from Arsenal this weekend?
I know some people have looked at the fixture list to say that potentially this could be a problem. It is true. Everton could pose a challenge. But as I've said, and I've said repeatedly, the last 3 years have taught Arsenal how to navigate some of these games. Right? If you notice, the games that will typically say, oh, they are banana skins, Arsenal have learned to handle those games in a very efficient manner. They may not win 5-0, but by the time the game ends, they have their points, and that's it. So I think Arsenal will draw from all those lessons. Agree, they didn't get the result against Leverkusen, but 1-1, it's not a bad result at all. 1-1 is akin to goalless. And Arsenal will have to think about that second leg as a one-off and see what they can. And you know that Arsenal at home, they most often than not, they will get what they need. But that game against Everton will be an interesting one. Arsenal will have to try and deal with what Everton will threaten them. We saw Everton when they took on Man United at the Hill Dickinson in terms of the set piece. And we saw Arsenal getting undone by a set piece against Leverkusen. So Arsenal will know that, okay, when it comes to the dead ball situation, these guys have got the physicality to do to us what we would usually do to other teams and give us problems in our box. But I still think Arsenal have what it takes. What it will require, a lot of grit and discipline, but also raised performances from some of Arsenal's best players. Bukayo Saka, I haven't seen an 8/10 performance from him this season.
Saving it for the World Cup.
As an England fan, we thank him. I'd love that. But the World Cup is months away, so we'll have to wait and see. Okay, so Arsenal will need more from him. Okay, I don't know if if Martin Odegaard comes back, or it is still Ebe Eze who gets to play as the number 10.
I think at this point, Eze is beginning to prove that he can do their business.
Well, again, it's an open field. For now, he's the one in form. Odegaard will have to prove whenever he gets the opportunity that he has still got a lot to show and a lot to give this Arsenal team. So yes, the game will be very interesting to watch. I don't know what kind of Everton will turn up, because sometimes you look at Everton and say, oh, they can be tricky. Then they face Arsenal and lose 3-0.
Yeah.
It can easily happen. Okay, so let's see what kind of Everton shows up. We know what Everton have got in their tank. I think that in terms of a creative outlet, we know Iliman Ndiaye, Dewsbury Hall to a large extent. I think where Everton are lacking is the player to put the ball into the net. Beto is not reliable. What's the name of the other guy? The young Berno, I think his name is. I can't seem to. Barry.
Let me get that.
I think the name is Barry. Yeah, he's also, you can tell he has a lot of industry. The goals are beginning to come in for him, but can he be the one to breach the Arsenal backline? That's a question that will have to be answered this weekend. But I think Arsenal should walk away with the win. I think Arsenal have what it takes to get past the line with any kind of win and get themselves 3 points. I wonder if Everton. Well, look, Everton will make it a good contest, but I think Arsenal, when I look at that game, I think Arsenal should have what it takes, get over the line, get their 3 points, put pressure back on Manchester City.
Well, Michael, let me pick your thoughts on this. Arsenal definitely know if they have to win the league, this is not the time to drop points. They now have to play 2 games in the space of 6 days. They play Everton, they play Bayer Leverkusen. If you are Mikel Arteta, how do you approach this game? Are you going to wrap some players in cotton wool and possibly rely on some of your players to get the job done against Everton? And for Everton, what would they be looking for in this game?
Yeah, thank you. I think what will inform Arteta's approach to this game will come from how they ended the last game against Bayer Leverkusen. If you check the players that came out and the kind of urgency they injected into the Arsenal play, for instance, Noni Madueke, Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz, they brought a different dynamism to the Arsenal attack. And I think Arteta will probably be looking at carrying on from there, because whatever happens in the Everton game will also serve as a preparatory game for the match against Bayer Leverkusen during midweek in the Champions League. So I think you want to start the game right.
Sporty
then he puts himself in a position where his team eventually secures the win. I know at this stage of the season where you are trying to put yourself in better places in terms of winning trophies, there is something that you have to deal with called pressure. And it does funny things to the title race at this point in time. But if you look at Arsenal statistically, they have handled themselves well against teams who will likely come and defend deep against them. And Everton fit that tag. David Moyes definitely has a template for playing these matches. And I don't know why he sticks to it, because most times it doesn't work. Moyes in the big games, especially away from home, loves his team to have a certain structure where they sit deep, they play with discipline, and then ensure that they are strict to the kind of approach they devise for the game, and then they refuse to open up and make the game flow. Now, this strategy is what Moyes has used in the big games, as I mentioned, but let's ask ourselves, has it always delivered the results for him? And the answer is not really, because statistically, in the last 21 matches that David Moyes and his team have played away from home against the big teams, you can name them: Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City. In 21 of those matches, Moyes and his team has suffered 20 defeats. So it points towards one thing: his strategy does not work. But I doubt he will change it, come to the Emirates Stadium and open up against Arsenal. So everything points towards the fact that this is one of those games where it will be very scrappy, it won't be open, and Arsenal will have to resort to what they know to do best, which is set piece, corner kicks, free kicks. I think this is one of those games where it would likely play a role in deciding who wins and who does not win. Everton, similarly, are a set-piece team, and Moyes will want to rely on that. And then Arsenal are one of the best teams in Europe, not just in the Premier League, when it comes to deploying set pieces to attack opponents and get goals out of it. But I don't think Everton will do enough to try and score from open play, and then they won't get enough of the set pieces to try and score from. I think it is one of those games where we won't see many goals, but I think judging by how Arsenal have handled themselves, especially at home, I think their only defeat so far has come in the game against Manchester United, and then there was that disappointing draw against Manchester City, and then there was a draw again against Liverpool. If you take away these matches, Arsenal in the home games have been near perfect, and they will definitely devise a way or find a way out in terms of beating Everton, no matter the shape that Everton adopts. So I am taking Arsenal to win,
This is
and I don't
Sporty
expect many
FM,
goals
the
in this game.
voice of sport.
Let's look at this other game, and there's third place, firm grip on third place, up for grabs in this particular one. Manchester United will welcome Aston Villa to Old Trafford. In a game many expect Michael Carrick to return to winning ways after his disappointing game against Newcastle United. Nathan, Everton on Thursday night defeated Lille.
Villa, you mean?
Villa defeated Lille in France on Thursday night, and many believe a bit of tiredness, a bit of tired legs could play a role in the outcome of this result, in the outcome of this game. And mind you, they are winless in their last two in the Premier League. They've lost 2 straight games. They would also be chasing a way back into contention as far as the European places is concerned. But what should we expect from Manchester United? Can Michael Carrick bounce back from his disastrous performance against Newcastle United, or Aston Villa would continue their fine run against Manchester United in recent times?
Carrick will have to understand that this game won't be easy. It doesn't matter if Villa played on Thursday night. There's a chase for top 4 football. There's a chase for a Champions League ticket. And Villa will come to Old Trafford believing that they are capable of getting something from that encounter. We saw United play 10v11 or 11v10 against Newcastle. They still couldn't take advantage. Newcastle were extremely determined. They were structured. They gave everything and got themselves the win. So United will have to understand that Villa will come to Old Trafford being very determined. And there's Unai Emery in the dugout, a manager who understands what it takes, a manager who's really structured, and a manager who tests Michael Carrick. And Man United, in the last few games they've played, you saw some of the, I won't say bad habits, but you could see some of the funny things cropping up. The slow starts, the indecision, not enough intensity. Sunday will be very unforgiving, and Man United will have to understand that every single game they play between now and the end of the season is a very important one. And they have some big hitters coming up, right? They have to go to Chelsea. They host Liverpool. The final game of the season is at Brighton. Forest will come to Old Trafford. So United will have to understand the importance of all these games. And it starts with Aston Villa. And United will have to try and get something against Aston Villa. It will not be an easy one. United will be tested because Villa do have quality, but some very determined players. McGinn, a player who runs tirelessly. Oli Watkins, a player who can test defenses and cause problems. They've got Tammy Abraham off the bench, Emi Buendia, a back four that looks quite good. Luka Digne, a left back who can cause a problem. Behind all of that is Emi Martinez, a goalkeeper who's really tough mentally, psychologically, and a goalkeeper Man United were strongly considering to be their number one. So United will have a lot on their hands. I don't think that, we can say Thursday, Sunday, Villa will get tired. I think Villa recognize what is at stake, and I think that is what will drive them on. And I think that is why they will give Man United a test. We saw what Palace could do at Old Trafford. Stressed Man United for large parts before United got through to win that game by 2-1. So United will have to be ready for Villa on Sunday, mentally, physically, tactically. Especially the mental part. United will have to understand the weight of the occasion, see what they can do to get the win. But it will be an interesting one, a tough one, but United will have to show that the day's rest is an advantage, and they have to make that advantage count, and they have to ensure that they are in the game when probably Villa start to fade, and United should be there to take advantage. But it won't be easy. Villa have had good games at Old Trafford in the last few years, and I think Sunday they will try and make it another tough test for Man United.
Michael, first leg we saw Villa run away with a 2-1 win at home. Revenge for United this time around, or Villa can possibly do a double over United, who seem to be faltering in quite a couple of games they've played under Michael Carrick. And for many, under Carrick, many say they have only seen United play at their best in the games against Arsenal and Manchester City. All of the other games, United were not too impressive, but they found a way to get the job done until they were exposed and punished by Newcastle. Can United
Sporty FM
stay in third place come end of this weekend's round of games?
That's very possible. The probability of United remaining where they are on the table is very high as compared to Aston Villa setting the odds and usurping Manchester United from that position. What I see is this: United are playing Villa at the right time for various reasons. One of them will likely be there is fatigue to deal with for Aston Villa. They've been using basically the same squad, not just in the Europa Conference League against Lille, but you look through their last 5 matches and they've spirally changed their squad, especially from the middle positions due to injuries to certain key players. Yuri Tillemans, Boubacar Kamara, and John McGinn, most especially. I think he's their engine. If McGinn is in there, then Villa stands a chance to control games, not necessarily dominate games, but control games. He knows how to set the tempo. He brings the physicality and the intensity to their play. And without him, it is like the soul of this Aston Villa team is taken away. And another player in there is Morgan Rogers. He's also the live wire of this Aston Villa attack. It makes things work for them. I know Jolie Watkins and the likes will get their goals, but when it comes to the one who is chiefly at the heart of Villa creating and also scoring, it is definitely Morgan Rogers. But they've basically reached the point where they are running on fumes, I must say. They don't really have that kind of energy to deliver consistently. And I know Unai Emery will definitely have his eye on trying to dominate and win in Europe, and then see they can have a respectable position in the domestic front in terms of a Premier League place. And so he will try to manage this game. And that is why I think it will stifle Villa's ability to attack, because the manager's approach will much more be like, try to be a bit laid back and see if possible they'll try to catch Manchester United on the counter-attacks. But I think Carrick knows this team all too well. Particularly, he knows Morgan Rogers all too well. They have history. Carrick signed him at Middlesbrough, and so he knows what Morgan Rogers is all about. Although Morgan Rogers has evolved, he's become a better player than he was at Middlesbrough under Michael Carrick, but he still knows a thing or two about him. The likes of Tammy Abraham, Jadon Sancho, and the likes, Manchester United will know the kind of threats they have to deal with and how to cope. But I think United have had far too much time to prepare for this game. And I am trusting that Carrick will definitely know what to bring into the encounter. And they are facing Aston Villa at a time where their form is not so good. In the Premier League, Aston Villa have not been getting the results. They've lost back-to-back league matches, and in their away matches, they've not also been performing very well. I think their last time they scored 2 goals or more in the Premier League was somewhere 25th January against Newcastle United. So this is a team that is struggling to score, and it's a team that is struggling to keep clean sheets. So it points towards one thing. The chance of United scoring in this game is very high. The chance of them scoring multiple goals is also not ruled out, because Villa, judging by where they are psychologically and physically, are also conceding very quality chances. I think that the ball is in the court of United. It favors them to win more than draw or lose this game to Aston Villa. And I'll be very surprised if they get any result apart from a win, because everything points towards the fact that they have a very healthy squad. They've had enough time to prepare, and they are meeting a team not in the right mood as it stands now regarding
Sporty FM.
I am tipping United to win. I think a victory for them shouldn't be ruled out.
Let's go to Anfield, and there's a big game coming up this weekend. It's Liverpool facing relegation-threatened Tottenham Hotspur. Now, this is a fixture Liverpool have won consistently over the years. For Tottenham, they are just 1 point above the relegation zone, Nathan, and anything other than a win for them this weekend could spell doom for them, especially if Nottingham and West Ham get a better result this weekend. How do you see this one playing out for Tottenham this weekend? And could this possibly be Igor Tudor's last game in charge if things don't go well for Tottenham? Lots of things to look at.
Yeah, will it be his last? Possibly. But even if they get rid of Tudor, where do they go from here? Where do they go from here? Spurs have just piled on problem after problem. I wonder how they are going to win that Liverpool tie. That is a very, very difficult tie to win. Because mentally they are in a terrible place. The football doesn't make any sense. Tuesday night was a horror show, and they have to try and see what they can do to reverse the tie. Unless, of course, they have no plans of trying to overturn that tie in next week's return leg. So it will be tough. I don't know how they are going to survive. We saw them play the North London derby. It worked for 45 minutes, and then everything went, down the drain. So against Liverpool, it will be tough. Liverpool themselves are also getting ready for the Galatasaray return leg, and this is in between those two games. So beat Spurs, build confidence, try and do the work against Galatasaray. But this will be tough, especially for Spurs. I don't know how they are going to inspire themselves. They have to pick themselves up and give up a performance of their lives to get something against Liverpool. Not because, for a number of reasons. One, for the pride and confidence. Two, for the points, because they are really swimming against the tide. I don't know whether it gives them enough firepower or enough determination to play next week's return leg against Atletico Madrid, which feels like is almost dead.
Done deal, yeah.
So it will be tough for them. But Igor Tudor, he has to try and guide this team from the touchline, because Liverpool will also want to win and get ready for Galatasaray. And when Liverpool sometimes turn it on, they can be a very, very complex team to play against. I tip Liverpool, though. I think Liverpool should have enough to beat Spurs. I think they have what it takes. I think their team is far, far, far more settled. But let's see what Spurs can do. Sometimes when teams are against it, they can play for their lives, play for survival. Maybe Spurs will find it, but it doesn't look like Spurs are in a place where they can take Liverpool down. So for me, Liverpool start as favourites. I think Liverpool will win this, but you never know.
Igor Tudor and his charges are in deep trouble. Tottenham look like they could just lose once again this weekend. You're live on Sporty 106.1 FM in Accra, 102.5 in Takoradi, and 91.3 in Kumasi. We are just previewing the English Premier League. Some interesting games to look forward to this weekend. Nathan, like I said, this weekend, some very, very, very tasty clashes in the English Premier League. We'll look at that Chelsea-Newcastle game in a bit. But Michael, I'll come to you in a bit. If you just tuned in, this is Sporty Breakfast, and this, as always, is Ghana's #1 sports morning show. If you are doing the listening, good morning to you wherever you are. And thank you for staying with us. Thank you for staying with Sporty FM. And let me say big good morning to the Honorable Minister for Sports and Recreation, Honorable Kofi Adams. Normally the minister likes to listen to Sporty, and Nathan. Honorable listens to Sports FM a lot, So, Honorable, if you are listening to us this morning, good morning to you, and we wish you the best of the day. Michael, let me come back to you. Tottenham have it all to do. If they have to stay in the English Premier League, their points, their ability to pick points should start from now. Unfortunately for them, they come up against a team that is also chasing top 4 places. Now, how does Igor Tudor galvanize these boys after losing 5-2 to Atletico Bilbao to go to Anfield and do a job to save their Premier League status this season?
I think he can't. And maybe I'll side with Nathan when I say that this could probably be the last game for Igor Tudor as an interim boss of Spurs. And I say this because if you read the room and then you read the facial expressions and the demeanor of these players on the pitch, it points towards one thing. The manager has failed to inspire. He's failed to trigger these players to deliver something positive. Oftentimes when managerial decisions are made, there is something that you expect, a reaction sort of from this playing body. And if it is going to work, you say right from the onset. If it won't work, it will also be seen right from the onset, and then judging by how the coach conducts himself and how he's able to protect these players and help them to overcome their psychological issues. But it is different for Migo Tudor. Anytime he speaks, it does not inspire much confidence, and it does little to improve the mood in the dressing room. And so I can confidently tell you that Spurs is a team under pressure, and this game will be played in such a mode. They will play in pressure mode, and that is where the predictable knock-on effect sets in. They will be making rash decisions. They will be putting in unnecessary tackles. They will be unnecessarily physical and intense, and they will be attracting fouls and cards. If you watch their game against Crystal Palace, that was what they needed. They decided to bring the energy to the fore. So after scoring the first goal, it was same misdirected energy that led Mickey van der Ven to go in for that unnecessary tackle, cause a penalty, cause himself a red card, and then it definitely brought everything Spurs were building to zilch. It collapsed everything. So the point I want to make is this Liverpool game also have the writings of the Crystal Palace game, a must-win match for Spurs. They must not drop points. It is a pressure game. And Spurs have shown that they don't have that mental toughness to handle such occasions, as we've seen so far this season. There have been times where they played tough games,
the voice of
and then
sports.
a red card eventually cost them. Against Manchester United, a red card cost them as well. So I think the trend is very clear. It is so crystal clear. Spurs will be their own undoing. A time will come in this game where they will press that button and it will trigger those unnecessary tackles, and it will allow Liverpool, to have a stranglehold in this game. Again, the stage, the venue, it is Anfield. What Liverpool as a club will want to prevent, and when I say Liverpool as a club, I mean the fans, the players, the technical team. What they will want to prevent is a very bad result that precedes their game against Galatasaray at home. Because that game against Galatasaray is a must-win match. They must qualify to the next
Sporty
game.
FM.
And they will not want Spurs to come to Anfield, come and frustrate them, maybe say a draw, a disappointing performance or a disappointing result. It will definitely affect the mood ahead of the game against Galatasaray. So Liverpool go all out. And when they do, Spurs are in trouble. Spurs are not a very solid team in terms of middle, and they're not a solid team in terms of defense. They are very good attackers, but they are individual. As a collective, there's a very poor team in the Premier League. And I don't think they have the spirit, the character to walk to Anfield and then cause mayhem. Liverpool will certainly control this game, and then they will certainly beat Spurs because they are one of the teams they have mastered how to beat in recent times.
Right. Let's see. We'll see how things pan out for Tottenham Hotspur this weekend. After losing 6 straight games in all competitions, it's pure relegation form. And
yeah, it's really terrible.
They'll need special prayers to survive this weekend.
But the thought of Tottenham getting relegated, like, Ray,
it's becoming real.
When I think about it, I'm still quite stunned that Spurs are actually in a relegation battle. Imagine Spurs getting relegated. Then the lovely stadium, everything, no European football for maybe a season, maybe 2.
They'll not be playing in the championship.
Now you're in the championship. You can't keep your best players. And I don't think a lot of these guys would want to play in the championship. Should Spurs get relegated, I don't think a player like Mickey van der Ven wants to be playing in the championship. I don't think
Kudus
so.
Mohammed.
Imagine.
And that is what points me towards Kudus' statement when he signed that I only wanted Spurs. What kind of sporting project did they present to him? And those in charge of Kudus, I think did a very bad they didn't do due diligence in terms of scrutinizing Spurs where they are and where they expected to get to, because in the previous season, Spurs were in the same relegation
with Man United.
With Man United.
Then the win papered over the cracks. Talk of the Europa.
The Europa League win,
All of a sudden, I don't think they were convincing enough. And this thing we see with Spurs, yes, the name Tottenham and them being involved in a relegation fight seems a bit awkward. But if you look at their actions in previous seasons leading up to this one, they are pointed towards that. You can't tell clearly their transfer policy, where they want to go, because you don't sign Kudus and sign Xavi Simons in the same transfer window. They are basically the same prototype. Kudus has the same profile as Xavi Simons.
Yeah.
So if you sign these two players in the same window, I don't think it all gets well. And those in charge of Kudus should have sat down and then taken a right decision regarding his future. But just jumping to Spurs at this point in time,
FM, the voice of sports.
He will come to the World Cup playing for another club, and I don't think he should have put himself in this situation. Spurs was the wrong option, and it has come back to bite him so hard.
Well, I think
Spurs need to really consider where they put.
I think for Kudus, if Spurs get relegated, he would use the World Cup platform to audition for a new club.
Yeah, I mean, look,
absolutely, and that's what he would have to do.
I get it. I mean, that is true. Look, players will look out for themselves. That is all. And I clearly understand. I hope Spurs will think about all of these variables, right?
Yeah.
And try and play themselves out of relegation.
Yeah.
Listen, because the threat, you see, falling into the championship it's not an easy thing.
Sporty FM.
Right? Look, you can come back after a year or two. But the kind of your status is downgraded.
And you can end up in League One.
You could. There's not enough money coming in. Players will leave. Listen, Spurs have players. The moment Spurs get relegated, there's no way they are staying in the championship. I'm telling you, Mo Kudus is one.
He's not going to stay.
Mickey van der Ven. Listen, when I look at Mickey van der Ven, I see a player who has ambitions. Xavi Simons. Richarlison probably may stay, probably. But by the time you go through by the time you reset everything, you've lost all the big names. Now you are depending on smaller names to get you back up. And the championship is already very grueling. I hope Spurs have analyzed all these variables and they need to go on a run that ensures their survival. I don't even know who they will appoint in future when the storm passes, either in the championship or in the Premier League. But Spurs are looking at a very, very bleak period. And they have to get wins. The prayer they need to pray is that if they don't recover, Nottingham Forest and West Ham will get into a very bad patch.
Yeah.
So they go down and Spurs stay up. But if Forest and West Ham start to pick up points and Spurs do not, then we are looking at a very, very, very strange time where Spurs could find themselves in the championship. I remember when Newcastle went down, then it sounded absurd.
Yeah.
But they did. They went down. Villa even went down at a point.
Yeah.
So relegation is not beyond anybody. But when you look at what Spurs have done, and as Michael said, we all figured that by maybe surviving last season, they would have learned, or all the money they had made in previous years, getting players in, they would have figured out a proper direction for the club. It looks like there's none. You don't quite understand what it is they are doing. What kind of team do they want to build? What kind of players do they want to have? When you analyze their squad, you look at some of the player combinations or who they have on their team. It looks really strange. A few months ago, they let go of Brennan Johnson after splashing good money to go and get Brennan Johnson. Now you've let him go. He's gone to where he's gone to Forest, I think.
Yeah.
He's gone to Forest.
He's at Crystal Palace.
He's gone to Palace. Sorry,
he won the Europa League.
He scored the winning goal in the Europa League final.
Yeah.
So Spurs, and Michael, I agree with you completely. You don't seem to understand what it is they are doing, and for the first time, Mr. Daniel Levy is not the one getting blamed for it.
I think he saw all of this and decided, look, let me jump.
They got rid of him because they felt it wasn't working under his leadership. So they got rid of him.
Bad.
Now look at where they are.
So they'll be playing with Kinski in the championship.
Anton Kinski.
But let me just run you through the games Tottenham have up until the end of the season. They play Liverpool next.
This is Sporty FM.
They play Nottingham Forest at home.
That's a relegation 6-pointer.
They play Sunderland away. They play Brighton at home. They play Wolves away from home. They play Aston Villa. They play Leeds. Play Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. And then they end the season at home against Everton. I think Spurs would look at a few games in there and say, well, we could possibly pick up some 18 points, starting with a win against Nottingham, another against Sunderland, possibly beat Brighton, and that would be 3 wins in a row. Possibly beat Wolves, making it 4 in a row. And then...
So who do they play next?
They play Liverpool next. We know that game.
Liverpool,
they might not win that game.
And then
they play Nottingham Forest. Okay.
So that's a relegation 6-pointer. Forest. Okay.
They beat Forest.
They won't win.
Michael says
Michael, you don't think they'll beat Forest?
They won't beat Forest. They won't beat Sunderland. Brighton will frustrate them. Maybe realistically they can beat the Wolves. But Aston Villa, Leeds United, Chelsea, Everton.
Yeah, Ray. It's true. When you take out,
like Nathan said, the best way for Spurs to stay in is not them winning games, but praying.
Yes, it's true.
Like West Ham, and then Nottingham Forest will pick maximum points.
I think really that is Spurs' only path to survival. That those two teams will be worse off than they are. But if you look at the run they have next, that's a very complicated run. If you take Wolves out, and even that, the Wolves game, look at Wolves' form in the last few weeks. They've admitted that they will go down, but they will go down without a fight. They'll put up a fight. Maybe to accumulate points and start to think about life in the championship, playing well in your last 9-10 games. But if Wolves start to go on and run and they suck Spurs, that makes a very complicated. And Spurs, look at the teams they are playing. Liverpool out. They take on Forest, which is not tricky. Brighton can be very stubborn to play against. And Brighton have got a good run against Spurs historically. Then they have who next?
Then after Brighton, they play Wolves.
Wolves.
Then they play Villa.
And you think that will be an easy one?
They play Leeds.
Look at that.
Then Chelsea.
Look at that.
And they end the season at Everton. At home against Everton.
You see, so even by the time they... play...
No, I think Spurs will survive. Look, what they will do is they would possibly get rid of Tudor after this game.
And then
possibly bring in maybe a Sam Allardyce. Or maybe a Sean Dice.
See, I mean, look,
they would have to bring in
somebody to save
a Premier League manager to try and save them.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are possibly.
But are they willing to swallow their pride and get somebody like a Deitch or
they would have to.
A relegation
or Big Sam? I think Big Sam does the job. That's if
because
he has the energy.
Spurs have this knack of always complaining about the type of football they play. They say that football has to be nice. It has to be good. If they are ready to swallow the pride, why not? It can work.
Well, we'll see how things pan out for Tottenham this weekend. But one other team that would be hoping to beat their opponent to pick 3 points this weekend will be Chelsea. Chelsea play against Newcastle United. Both teams were, they had a mixed bag in Europe in midweek. Chelsea, they lost by 5-2 to Paris Saint-Germain. Newcastle United, they drew 1-1 against Barcelona. Both teams would be desperate for 3 points in this one. Newcastle mid-table there and about. Chelsea fighting for top 4. Michael, what do you see Chelsea doing in this game? Can they pick maximum points against a team? They normally do the job over Newcastle United.
Yeah, there's a game with a Chelsea win written all over it. And I say this because Newcastle have, I keep saying, I don't know where they derive their energy from, but I don't think they have enough in their tank, and especially with the game taking place away from the St. James Park, it favors Chelsea more. Chelsea against PSG, I think it was about the last 16 minutes, but for large periods of this game, Chelsea really put up a solid performance, and it proved that they are better than the results suggest. So contextually, yes, Chelsea lost 5-2, but contextually, they did not perform abysmally. Newcastle gave a solid fight against Barcelona, but if there is any team to trouble this Newcastle team, it is Chelsea, especially from the
Sporty
middle.
FM.
One way Newcastle wrestled dominance and control from Barca was through the middle. The use of Joelinton, Jacob Ramsey matching up that energy, and then Sandro Tonali leading like Bruno Guimaraes does for them. When they bring this midfield setup to face the Chelsea midfield, I think Newcastle will be found wanting. Caicedo, Enzo, Andre Santos, or even if it's Rich James going to play there, there's Romeo Lavia who is fit, Dario Suge is available. So Chelsea are well stocked in terms of options that they will want to use. And that, to me, if Chelsea are able to match Newcastle's energy and then the physicality in the middle, it takes away any threat that Newcastle poses. And so I think Chelsea has the weapon to hurt this Newcastle team. And on any given day, with a game taking place at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea will want to record a very positive result to set the mood for what happens between themselves and then Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League next week. So yes, this is the right time to play Newcastle. I don't think Newcastle have enough energy to replicate what they did against Barcelona, and I don't think they have enough personnel to dominate a midfield battle against Chelsea. That aside, Chelsea are the better side, and I think they will win against Newcastle United.
Right. Michael, we'll see how things go for Chelsea. One other game, West Ham would play against Manchester City. West Ham themselves in that relegation dogfight, we'll see how things go for them. And so I think would skip this one and quickly head to...
But why? I mean, Man City want to respond to losing 3-0 to to Real Madrid. So it will be an
resumption of normal service for them.
But West Ham are beginning to pick form. They are beginning to pick points. They want to survive. So that should be an interesting one. And City's last league game ended 2-2 with another relegation threatened side in Nottingham Forest. So I won't be too quick to say regular service resumed. City will have to work for that result. They'll have to work very hard for that result. They may get it, but they'll have to work very hard. And West Ham, knowing that the more points they gather, the better their chances are of surviving with all the teams. Because it's a straight battle between themselves, Forest and Spurs. 3 teams avoiding 2 spots through the trapdoor. 2 teams will follow Forest. That is a fact. The issue is which 2? West Ham don't want to be part of that number. So that should be a good one.
Should be an interesting weekend in the English Premier League. Let me run you through the games again. Burnley play Bournemouth, Sunderland take on Brighton, Arsenal play Everton, Chelsea play Newcastle United, West Ham take on Manchester City, Crystal Palace play Leeds, Man United take on Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest play Fulham, Liverpool take on Tottenham Hotspur, and then on Monday night at the G-Tech Community Stadium, Nathan's favorite home ground.
The G-Tech.
Yeah,
you know, after the Unity Cup, like whenever I watch I've been here. I try to remember.
I was here soon.
I try to remember. Where was I sitting?
Yeah. You know, so Brentford will play Wolves. So the games to look forward to in England this weekend. Michael, let me take you to the Italian Serie A because I want you to analyze quickly the top 4 battle and the games that we'll be looking forward to this weekend. Now, if you look at the Italian Serie A table, Inter Milan, they have opened a 7-point lead over closest challengers AC Milan. Now, this weekend, Napoli will be playing against Lecce in a game that many expect 3 points to be in the bag for Napoli. Now, Como, who are currently in 4th, will play AS Roma, who are currently in 5th. Now, both teams are level on points. And then you have Juventus, who are playing Udinese. They are in 6th place. And then you have Atalanta, who are currently in 7th, still chasing top 4 places, coming up against Inter Milan, who are top of the table. So let's quickly look at that top 4 game between Roma and Como, and then Inter Milan and Atalanta, and see what the table would look like possibly at the end of this round of games.
I think Inter are the boogie side to Atlanta. They've been like that. The last time Atlanta beat them, whether home or away, was in 2018. and this game will take place at the San Siro. The last time that Atlanta won there was in 2014, March of 2014. So Atlanta have actually struggled against Inter in recent times. The worst for Inter in games against Atlanta has been a draw. And when Inter hosts Atlanta, Inter's chances of winning is so high. Now they not have to bother themselves with playing in Europe because they were kicked out by Bodo. Now, Inter had injury issues to deal with. And I think playing in midweek would have affected how they recover some of these players, like Lautaro Martinez, even for Marcus Thuram. And then Bastoni, he went off with a knock in the Derby de la Madonnina. But I think the availability should help to boost the Inter Milan team defensively and then in terms of the attack. But even without Lautaro, and if Marcus Thuram is able to recover, in Pio Esposito, in Boni, and then also Marcus Thuram, they have a good attacking lineup to play against this Atlanta team, who were devastated after losing 6-1 to Bayern Munich in midweek. And don't forget, they still have a trip to make to Munich to play against Bayern. So I think the game points towards Inter having that kind of advantage against this Atlanta team. But I don't really trust Christian Kivu and the big games. Like I mentioned earlier this week, he's not really dominated the big games. If you want to classify this match as one of the big games, I think Atlanta under Rafael Palladino will have a say. They went on that remarkable run. Along the line, their form has suffered. And then before they played against Bayern, they drew against Udinese. They had to claw back into that game. So they've showed some of the old self of Atlanta in recent matches. But in a game like this that demands for them to show up and better their chance of making the top four, I think Atlanta will put up a fight. If they play this game without Ederson, they are done. And that is what happened in the Bayern game. Ederson is the chief orchestrator in the Atlanta midfield. I like Martin de Roon. I like Mario Pasalic. But they don't bring that kind of control like Ederson does. And the moment Ederson is out of the Atlanta team, it affects them, and you can see it. So if Atlanta do this game without him, they are done in the middle, because Inter's strength is also in the middle. Barella, Chahanoglu, Susic, whoever plays with them, they have their control from those areas.
The voice
and then they weaponize their wing backs. So I think the problem for Atlanta will be how they are able to match Inter in the middle and then wrestle some control from them in the middle. If they do that, they have a chance, because they are very good attackers. Kamaka is back to scoring, is positive. Pasalic can get in on the scoring at and all that. But minus Ederson, a big vacuum is left to be filled in this Atlanta team. And I think that is what Inter will capitalize on. It's going to be an exciting game. Inter to win, probably. And then for Como La AS Roma, I think it is a game that Gasperini will play into the hands of Como. And if Como fails to win, I'll be surprised.
Well, we'll see how things pan out in Italy. Let me run you through the fixtures to look forward to in the Italian Serie A. It's match day 29 in the Italian Serie A. Torino play Parma, Inter play Atalanta, Napoli take on Lecce, Udinese play Juventus, Verona play Genoa, Pisa will play Cagliari, Sassuolo take on Bologna, Como play AS Roma, Lazio play AC Milan, and then Cremonese will take on Fiorentina on Monday night. And Michael, let's quickly go to Spain, because some interesting games to look forward to. And as things stand now on the La Liga table, Barcelona have a comfortable 4-point lead over their closest challengers, Real Madrid. Now, going into this weekend's round of games, Real Madrid would be high on confidence after beating Manchester City by 3-0. Barcelona, on the other hand, after drawing against Newcastle, would be thinking about how to progress to the next stage of the UEFA Champions League and also figure out how to tame Sevilla in their game this weekend. Now, these are the games to look forward to. Alaves play BRL tonight. Girona take on Bilbao. Atletico Madrid play Getafe. And then you have Oviedo taking on Valencia. Real Madrid will play Elche. Mallorca take on Espanyol. Barcelona will take on Sevilla. Betis take on Celta Vigo. Real Sociedad take on Osasuna. And then on Monday night, Rayo Vallecano will take on Levante. So these are the games to look forward to in Spain this weekend. Two big games, or two games that many would say Real Madrid and Barcelona should comfortably win. But looking at Barcelona in recent times, Michael, do you see them getting one over Sevilla in this weekend's game? or Sevilla could possibly just spoil the party for them?
Revenge will be written in the minds of the Barcelona players, judging by how Sevilla beat them in the first round. And if Hansi Flick rotates for this game and the rotation is heavy, they will suffer from the start. Barca's first half has not been the best. It has been the period where they concede the most and they fail to score most times. Barca's strength, if you are measuring their performance in the two halves, it has always been in the second half. And they can't afford to start this game in a labored manner, allow Sevilla to grow in confidence, and then come to try and do their job in the second half. It might be a bit tricky for them. So I think Barca's chance of just killing this game even before halftime is the rotation of Hansi Flick. If he does it heavy because he wants to rest players for the Newcastle game, then I think it's going to affect his team's chances of killing this game early and then resting for the Newcastle match. So I think he needs to really think about his rotation. Sevilla, yes, they are not having one of the best seasons, but they've been on quite a run. They've found a way to stay in games, and they've been led by Akpo Adams. I think right after the AFCON, he's been on some remarkable scoring run for Sevilla, and I think he's gradually writing his name as one of the go-to persons if you want or anytime goal scorer in the Spanish La Liga. He gives you a goal every other game.
Sporty FM, the voice of sports.
But it's not just been about Akpo Adams and what he brings to the party. He's also led his teammates on and he's brought them into the fray, helping them to recover results. So if you check, Sevilla have always been getting back into games. They've been recording a lot of draws. Against Betis, they were down. It looked like they would lose that game. They clawed back. Vallecano similarly. So it is a team that knows how to fight. That is the point I want to make.
Yeah.
And if Barca allows Sevilla to stay in this game, I think they will fight for a result, and it might affect Barcelona. Would you believe me if I say that I predict Real Madrid to win and Barcelona to drop points if Hansi Flick rotates heavy?
Right. For Real Madrid, they play against Elche in a game that they must win if they need to have any realistic chance. If they are hoping to possibly win the La Liga, possibly wrestle back top spot, they need to win almost every game and hope that Barcelona falter in the course of the season. Michael, finally, let me take you to Germany. In the German Bundesliga, it's almost all but wrapped up for Bayern Munich. They have a very healthy lead at the top of the Bundesliga table. They are some 11 points clear of closest challengers Borussia Dortmund. This weekend, they play against Bayer Leverkusen, a team that's chasing top 4 places. We all saw them in midweek against Arsenal. They don't look like a team that should be 7th in the German Bundesliga table, but that's what it looks like at the moment. Now, in the German Bundesliga this weekend, it's match day 26. Borussia Mönchengladbach, they take on St. Pauli. Bayer Leverkusen will play Bayern Munich. Borussia Dortmund play Augsburg. Eintracht Frankfurt to play Heidenheim. TSG Hoffenheim will take on Wolfsburg. Hamburg play Cologne. Werder Bremen play Mainz. Freiburg will take on Union Berlin. And then Stuttgart will play RB Leipzig this weekend. Michael, Bayer Leverkusen, Bayern Munich. Should Bayern Munich be worried about the threat of Leverkusen? And should they be worried about their lead at the summit of the German Bundesliga table?
Definitely not. I think after that Alonso season where Leverkusen went unbeaten and won the Bundesliga, Bayern have found a way to deal with them anytime they face each other. And I think it's going to be in a similar manner. Yes, Kompany will likely want to throw in some faces who are on the fringes. The likes of Rafael Guerrero might maybe get a stint in there. Conrad Laimer, who did not start in that game. Atlanta, they will all likely start this encounter against Leverkusen. But even with these changes, Bayern are expected to be fully strong against Bayer Leverkusen. Leverkusen don't have much. Yes, what they put up against us now was very commendable. But what has killed them this season is consistency, and especially losing their focus in certain stages of the game. In their last game they played, they were leading 3-2. Then they considered a last-minute equalizer for the game to end 3-3. Then again, you look at their recent matches as well. they have not really demonstrated consistency. And consistency is found in the Bundesliga in just 2 teams, maybe Dortmund and then Bayern Munich for certainty. These are my top 2 for consistency in the league. And so I don't think Leverkusen can repeat the performance they did against Arsenal against Bayern. And to me, it is a game that Bayern will eventually win, even if because I expect Leonard Karl to start. I expect Conrad Laimer to start, Rafael Guerrero to start, to an extent maybe
Sporty
Ito
FM, the
and
voice of sports.
his Korean brother. They will also start this game for Bayern Munich. But despite these changes, Bayern should be strong enough to deal with any threat that Bayern or for Leverkusen pose to them. The game I'm actually very much interested in is Stuttgart versus Leipzig. 47 points, 47 points. Stuttgart lost in Europe. Leipzig did not play in Europe. And Leipzig have not really delivered, but they have stayed unbeaten in their last 5. Stuttgart lost 1 and then unbeaten in 4 of 5 games that they've played in. I think that, for me, is a top liner in the Bundesliga. Watch out for that.
Right. Michael, let me say a big thank you to you for joining us on the show this morning. It's been a pleasure having you as always. How's your weekend going to be like?
We'll likely travel to Bechem for the
Sporty
FA Cup.
FM.
I wanted to invite you to Cape Coast too.
Oh no, I'll do Bechem. So you go and take charge of Cape Coast.
Well, you see, you should have come to Cape Coast so that I'll show you a few things in Cape Coast. It's 116 for my school. It's 116 for my school.
Yeah, you went to Addis Ababa. I also stayed in Cape Coast for a very long time.
Yeah. You see, we should have done something at the this weekend.
Na enyim fancy can.
Oh, I make a fancy, papa. Make a fancy.
Dema.
Yeah, enyo.
You be share for the downside.
Right. Michael, have a good weekend, and we'll catch up with you on Monday, God willing.
All right, thank you very much.
Right, and that was Michael Asarabwede joining us all the way from Sporty 91.3 in Kumasi. There's still a lot to talk about on the show this morning. And we have an exclusive interview with a generational talent. We have an exclusive interview with a young talent, one for the future. We have an exclusive interview this morning with Luke Mate. He plays for FC Dallas Academy, and he's a versatile forward. You know, he's a right winger, and sometimes he can play in right back. Nathan, you've not seen him, eh?
Luke Mate, I know he currently he's tried out with the Starlets team.
Yes.
So the recently constituted Starlets team, he came down to try out. And I know that from my own digging around, I know that some clubs seem very interested. I know some clubs want to speak with him, see him play and all. So yes, the talent is
he's a very solid player. Very, very, very solid player. And he plays in the MLS next, the next gen. Yeah. So when I say it's a generational talent,
of course. I mean, clearly he has something.
You have to trust my scouting these days.
Of course, I know.
Luke Mate is a solid player.
Yes, I know.
So Nathan has an exclusive interview with him. He will be joining us in studio in the next few minutes.
Yes,
let's pause for a spot of music. When we return, Nathan will bring you that exclusive interview.
Wonderful.
Anything sports. Sporty FM Gotcha, the voice of sports.
Radio shot, me say what's shot, and so what no one I'm making. The BAP, so watch me, I'm making a shot. Radio shot, me say what's shot, and so what no one I'm making. The BAP, so watch me, I'm making a shot. na wanya bia I just what in the punu na what the akosie chiresi ansa na yakotumire man kenya high na dani kontomire esu tanke teke yakotumire me na mo blaster ni bio see this no swire that I mean ni bio $1 me boss starless I feel so ben say what don't gentle passa go bia de ya go ye ni mo ketwa obesi na bia ni wa ni fisha enemy obi ntira ko dan ya nya go tire fa ko fie ma na duane so me ba ko chi na na ni mami konkonti ba dan ya ponchire ni kaneno AD11 obeni edu no aye seneke after 2001 dunsia obehena ya seneke enti sana mo pe sana mo tie bibi sesa ena ya mo de me penta maji me na ma ko atumirika kwa ko si ya me starlet so hu ene be yedu wo ka se wa ye ma me wa ye busete akoda bo hu ne sa huru ne fia bo ne mpelifu ne ya bom titi family tree I can fit Morris baby face live room This is still the Sporty Breakfast. Your comments are welcome. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. We are live on X and Instagram at SportyFM_. We are on Facebook at SportyFM. We are on TuneIn. We are global. We are everywhere. Before we get into our conversation, before Raymond was talking about young Ghanaian footballer Luke Mate. We'll talk to Luke. Luke is seated, relaxed, taking it easy. We'll get to him in a second. But a few quick announcements before we do. Do you have your Polytank Sumo Super yet? What are you waiting for? In this month of March, it's coming at a great discount. Get about 10% off the premium multiple layer Sumo Super Tank from now to the end of Ghana month. Let's celebrate our heritage together and let's also enjoy the discounts together. Polytank Sumo Super is built with advanced multi-layer technology, reinforced for superior durability. It's designed to last. It will give you peace of mind for your home project or business. Polytank the original, Polytank always the best. Polytank Papa Nankasa. Beware of fraudsters. Polytank does not request for Momo online. Now, the World Cup is almost upon us. It's the biggest gathering in world football, and it's happening stateside. The larger North American landscape. 90-year travel advisors and Venture G Travel are taking Ghana to the World Cup. From visa assistance to flights to hotel to match tickets and complete travel coordination, they have you covered. So get in touch with them on 059-125-8275 or 059-673-8545 or send them a WhatsApp message +1 or 001-571-229-6900. 90-year travel advisors and Venture G Travel, your complete World Cup travel partner. And if you are looking for a great for food in a great spot, Delish Restaurant is now open at the University of Ghana poolside. They are serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's 9:45. If you want to eat something, go to Delish. And they have all kinds of things. They have a spacious and relaxing atmosphere. It's perfect for hangouts, meetings, chilling with friends. They have karaoke every Wednesday night at 7. Plus live band or games night every Friday. For delivery, you can call them 054-080-0000 or 056-004-4444. And they have all kinds of food for you. The rice dishes, yam chips with wings, sandwiches, banku with tilapia, yam with garden eggs. Look, the whole shebang. Follow them on socials at Delish Ghana on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. Delish Restaurant, great food, great vibes every time.
Sporty
9:46. This is still the Sporty breakfast. All right, let's get into our conversation for the morning. Let me welcome Luke Martin. Luke, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good.
Wonderful.
Yes,
Luke's dad is also here. Rev Martin, good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Luke, wow, how has it been for you? You were on trials with the Black Starlets. How was it?
It was pretty good. I feel blessed to be like the first American to go to a Ghana camp, get called up. It's truly a blessing. I feel good, feeling confident. I think I did really well. So
wonderful.
Yes, sir.
Take me through how is it like? How did the call up? How did you know you had been called up? Who got in touch with you?
So my agent, Jeremy. Shout out him if he's watching this. I'm really grateful for him. He was in touch with one of the directors at the GFA, and the GFA said they were really interested in me.
Okay.
And called me up.
I see.
Yes, sir.
You play football stateside. Which team do you play for?
FC Dallas Academy.
I see. You're in Texas.
I'm in Texas.
Say everything is big in Texas.
Yes, sir.
And which position do you play in?
I'm a right winger and a right back.
Okay.
Yes,
so down the right hand side, either as a defender or as an attacker. How take me through your journey from, we all grow up loving football or soccer, as you guys call it, stateside. But how did you go from just a regular kid kicking the ball around the house to getting into mainstream football, playing at this level for FC Dallas?
I just think it takes a lot of courage, just taking that next step, like seeing my brothers play football.
Okay.
Like, I remember I was 4 years old seeing them, play, and my mom asked me, what sport do I want to play? And I said, I see my two brothers are playing soccer. Let me also play soccer. And, I didn't take it much seriously, but when I saw my potential, I think I was like, yeah, I need to take this next step, have the courage to just keep going,
I see. Did you ever face the conflict of having to choose between basketball or NFL or baseball or soccer? Or for you just discovered what you liked and you wanted to stick with it?
I think I just discovered what I liked, I liked soccer, and I just stick with it, And like that's the story.
Tell me, how do people in the US view the sport? I take it it's still not the biggest, because in America the biggest sports are the NFL, the NBA, MLB, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Is the profile of soccer growing? Are people more and more people growing to like it?
I think with the 2026 World Cup, it's starting to grow more. More attraction, more likes. People are starting to favor the sport more, for sure, because of the World Cup. And I think soccer is going to be on top of the game in America. Maybe just give it a few years,
Wonderful.
Yes, sir.
And in Dallas, how are people? How's the sport like in Dallas? FC Dallas is one of the teams, one of the franchises in the MLS. You play for the next year. How do the people of Dallas respond to the team? What's their feeling towards FC Dallas as an entire franchise?
I feel like, it's like a family. It's like a culture there. It's real culture in Dallas. Like, everybody, they're respectful. They understand the sport, and it's like real culture, You go to some places, like, they don't have that culture, like, they don't have that diversity, but I feel like there in Dallas, that's what it is, real culture.
Wonderful. Rev, let me bring you in for a second. I want to get a parent's perspective, right? When did you notice that Luke had something special that, you felt he could develop?
This is I used to play.
Okay.
I never revealed the secret to them that I play. But growing up, checking on them, and they started, cultivating the habit of loving the sports. Until he started seriously following the brothers. I got to know that it's in the family. I happened to grow up in Teshin.
Okay.
In the small area where we were so much blessed with soccer. I grew up playing with the Lai Kinson's dad, Emmanuel Kinson of Olympics fame, Jonas Ajay and things like that. So the blessings is there. But I realized that, it has caught up with them eventually. So that's where the story lies.
Wonderful. And how, lots of parents, right, of children born outside the country face this dilemma where you give birth to your child, he's outside the country, he maybe wants to play for that country as against playing for Ghana. How did you manage to get Luke to say, you know what, commit to Ghana at this level, at under 17?
Well, it just came naturally, like he told you. The manager saw him and said, no, this is a very golden opportunity for your son to, go exhibit the talents that God has endowed him with
the voice of
in home country.
Okay.
Either too, it's been a long time since we saw any foreign born Ghanaian playing for the satellite.
The Starlets.
The Starlets, in fact. Yeah. So we said, well, let's give it a push. I mean, the rest belong to history.
Yeah, we are here. I see. So how long was the trial camp, Luke?
I was there for 5 days.
Okay, 5 days. How was it like? I mean, a new environment, very different from what you know in the States. How was it like? Was there a culture shock? Was there anything that surprised you?
I don't think it's a culture shock because, I'm in a Ghanaian household.
Okay.
Both parents are Ghanaian, so I feel like I'm used to most of the things that goes on in that camp, like the food, even the language barrier, even though I'm still learning. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't too much of a culture shock. I'm used to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So at this point, I mean, you've done your trials. You play for FC Dallas. At this point, what's the biggest thing on your to-do list that you want to check off
for the future?
Yeah, I mean, like, so currently, like, what's the next big thing you're aiming to do? I mean, the journey is quite long. I know there are bigger things you want to achieve, but immediately, what's that one thing you want to get off your checklist?
I mean, right now, since I'm with U17 Ghana, just getting in that AFCON squad and just doing great things,
I see. That tournament is in Morocco.
Morocco.
Yeah, it's in Morocco.
I think it's not yet settled.
It's not yet settled. Yeah, I mean, initially the plan was Morocco. I'm sure they might change.
Yeah.
But that's an important competition for the Black Starlets because doing well in that competition or making the semis means that you get to play in the World Cup in Qatar. So
yeah.
It's a very important journey for you, a very important step.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Long term, what are some of the things you want to do long term?
I mean, just having a long career, I don't really want to focus on, goals or assists, just having a good long career, longevity. I think that's the most important thing. Yeah, just shining on the field day in and day out, being consistent,
Great. Are there any Ghanaian players you love and look up to?
Oh, I mean, seeing their World Cup run, Asamoah Gyan, even recently the Ayew brothers, I think them two for sure, or those three, at least, yeah.
So Gyan and the Ayew brothers.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any favorite Black Stars memory?
Ooh. Even though it was sad, the quarterfinal.
2010. Uruguay.
It was still really sad, seeing that, but it was like we came far. We came far, and I think it was still a proud moment,
Great. I mean, looking at it from the outside in, as a Ghanaian, as a fan of the national team, they are coming stateside to play in the World Cup. What are your own expectations of the Black Stars? What would you want to see them do in this year's World Cup?
Just go far. Just like 2010, just go far, do their best, make it out the group, and just go far in the knockouts.
It's a tough group, though. It's Croatia and England and
very
Panama.
tough, but I believe in them, so yeah.
Wonderful. Tell me about playing for FC Dallas next year. I mean, you play for the youth team. How is it like there? Is the season in session? Are you guys off? When are you going back to training camp to get ready for next season?
We're in session. We start always in August and then end in the summer around like June. Yeah.
Wonderful. And how's it been for you?
It's been great. That's my club. I've lived in Dallas my whole life. I love it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a blessing being in Dallas for sure.
I see. Away from football, what are some of the things you like to do? Do you like basketball? Do you go to see the Mavs play?
I haven't gone to a Mavs game yet, but I like watching them on TV.
Okay.
Just like listening to music, being with family, just relaxing.
Just being chill.
Just being chill, recovering.
What kind of music do you like?
Ooh, I mean, I listen to everything.
Okay.
Like Afro beats, hip hop, R&B, everything. Yeah.
Any favorite Ghanaian songs or artists?
Artists for sure, Shatawale.
Wow, you love Shatawale. Why? Why?
I don't know. He just stood out to me for sure.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Ghanaian artist makes good music. Stood out to me for sure.
I like that. I like that. I like
Yes,
that.
sir.
Shout out to Shatawale, president of the SM Nation. People love him. I'm telling you, the streets love him.
Yes,
the streets
sir.
love him down here. Great.
He's blessed.
Yeah.
He's really blessed.
I see.
Endowed with a lot of wisdom. Despite some of the flaws or whatever,
Yeah.
he's just a great guy.
Wonderful, wonderful. I mean, as we wrap it up, Ref. So, when are you going back to the States?
I'll go back to the States on Sunday.
Sunday.
Yes,
Wow,
sir.
we're fortunate to grab you before heading out. So, what's the plan, Rev, for him when he goes back? What are you seeking to do?
Well, we're going to continue training hard, and then when it's called up again, be ready to hit the ground running. First of all, I want to thank the Ghanaian community hosting us here.
Sporty FM.
Prophet Emmanuel J, Prayer Palace, a father, a loving father, a great father to him, and all the spiritual support. Also to the FA for inviting us over to have an experience here in Ghana.
Great, great, wonderful, wonderful. Luke, final words?
Nope. You know, I just thank you for this interview. Thank you for the opportunity
Great.
to.
Before I let you go, I mean, my producer is asking me to ask you. You went to the trial camp and all. How positive are you feeling that you're gonna make the final cut?
I'm feeling really positive. You know, I feel like the coaches like me a lot. You know, feeling really confident and positive about it. So yeah.
Good stuff. Good
Yes,
stuff.
sir.
Congrats on getting to be called. We wish you the very best. And for listeners, note this day down, because many years from now, when Lukmate blows up and he's getting signed for 100 million, remember that we spoke to him on Sporty FM. And Rev, many thanks to you as well. Thank you for one, the opportunity, and for giving Luke the opportunity to play for the country of his parents. He wasn't born here, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
He was born in the States. But it's nice because a lot of people will say, oh, who's this guy? We don't know him. But at least he's starting from the very bottom. And the prayer is that he moves up and up and up, and he gets to feature for the senior team. So, guys, we wish you the very best. Luke, I wish you the very, very best. Safe trip as you go back. And we'll keep in touch. We'll keep in touch just to keep tabs on what you're doing in the States and the progress you'll be chalking down the years. Luke, thank you. Rev, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much, Sporty FM, for hosting us.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, guys. All the best.
Thank you.
And 10 on the dot. Let's sign out. This is the Sporty Breakfast, or this has been the Sporty Breakfast. We've had a long morning. But many thanks to our listeners. You were able to send us some WhatsApp messages. I did this with Raymond Yamado. Many shouts to my production team, Immortal, Angela Naneki, and Abigail. Many shouts to our technical guys. Many shouts to Fly and Emmanuel Ayamga for their support on social and the stream. Many shouts to our team lead, Gary L. Smith. Keep your eyes locked on Sporty FM. There's the news at midday. There's Sporty Plug at 12:30, Sporty Drive at 4.